tell you why I'm so happy. Because it looks like there's a new couple in Hollywood. Aaron Pierre, that's Teyana. They have been spotted together several times recently, but they seemingly made it official after the Oscars. So they both posted these pictures.
It all started with one blurry Instagram story. No caption, no words, just a hand resting gently on what looked like a slightly rounded stomach. It wasn't dramatic or obvious, but it was just enough to send the internet spiraling. Was Teyana Taylor pregnant? Was she having a baby with Aaron Pierre? And if so, why hadn't she said anything? Within minutes, fan pages started reposting it. Some added heart emojis, others asked questions. But then someone zoomed in, compared it to a photo from 2 days before, and everything changed. The dress was the same, but her stomach looked completely flat back then. And just like that, the theory exploded. Teyana faked a pregnancy at first. It felt impossible. Teyana? Faking a pregnancy? That's not her. She's always been real, raw, and brutally honest, even when it hurt. But the more people looked into it, the more things didn't add up. One tweet got over 3 million views in under 24 hours. She's just trying to trap Aaron. He's halfway out the door and she knows it. It was harsh, but thousands agreed. Suddenly, people were dissecting her every post. That "new beginnings" caption with the baby emoji? Suspicious. That oversized hoodie in LA heat? Questionable. And where was Aaron in all this? Because let's be real, he's been acting distant for weeks. First, he skipped her BET tribute night, then he missed her daughter's recital. Teyana showed up alone, looked amazing, but there was sadness in her eyes. Fans noticed. She kept posting solo shots, and the couple pics started disappearing. Aaron wasn't liking or commenting like he used to. No shoutouts. No cute behind-the-scenes videos. It felt like he was slowly pulling away, one silence at a time. And now this pregnancy rumor? It just made everything messy. People started whispering that Teyana was desperate to hold on. That maybe, just maybe, she thought a baby would anchor Aaron to her. Give him a reason to stay. And then came the alleged insider leaks. A stylist hinted in a TikTok comment that Teyana wore a padded belly for a photo shoot. A friend of Aaron's allegedly told a blog he was blindsided. He didn't even know she was saying they were expecting. None of it was confirmed. Of course. But on the internet, proof isn't always required. The story had gone viral, and it was snowballing fast. More people started piling on. Some said it was giving desperation. Others called it a cry for help. And then came the comparisons. People started bringing up other celebrities who had allegedly faked pregnancies or exaggerated stories for attention. But there was something different about Teyana's situation. It didn't feel like a publicity stunt. It felt like pain. And even her biggest fans were torn. One commented, "I love her, but this feels off. I hope she's okay." Another wrote, "She's spiraling and no one's helping her." Because if you've followed Teyana for years, you know pregnancy is sacred to her. It was through motherhood that she and Iman Shumpert bonded the most. Their daughter Junie was the heart of their love story. She's talked openly about how much that moment changed her. So for her to even joke about being pregnant, let alone fake it, felt deeply out of character. Which is why some people started wondering if this was less about Aaron, and more about Teyana trying to recreate what she lost. The theory hit hard. That she didn't want a baby to trap Aaron, she wanted a baby to feel loved again. To feel that softness, that connection, that safety she once had with Iman. And when things with Aaron started slipping through her fingers, maybe she reached for something, anything, that could make him pause. Make him stay. Even if just for a little while. And that's the part that really broke people's hearts. Because it wasn't manipulative. It was human. Flawed. Messy. Real. Aaron's reaction didn't help. He didn't say anything publicly. No statement, no denial, no support. Instead, he was spotted at a party just days after the rumor went viral, laughing, dancing, drinking like nothing happened. Fans were furious. If she did lie, it's because you made her feel like she had to, one comment read. Another asked, why let her spiral alone if you cared at all? Then came the petty move, he unfollowed her on Instagram for 24 hours. Deleted their photos. Then followed her back. No explanation. Just vibes. Cold ones. Meanwhile, Teyana went quiet. No stories. No new posts. Until one night, out of nowhere, she shared a black screen with a single line, "No one sees the tears behind a strong woman." That post hit different. The comments were flooded with love, concern, confusion. And then, a day later, she deleted every photo with Aaron. Every caption that hinted at a future together. Gone. Like they never happened. And that's when the tweet dropped, "I can't lie anymore." 5 words. That's all it took. People lost it. What did she mean? Was she admitting to faking it? Or was she just done pretending everything was fine? No one knew for sure. But one thing was clear, Teyana was in pain. Real pain. And maybe this whole thing, the fake pregnancy, the silence, the sadness, was never about attention or manipulation. Maybe it was a woman trying to hold herself together while the world watched her fall apart. Then came the final twist. A source close to her finally spoke out, anonymously. There was no baby. There was no plan. Just pain. She was trying to make sense of being abandoned again. She thought maybe if she looked hopeful, he'd stay hopeful too. It wasn't a scheme. It was survival. And suddenly, the hate started turning into compassion. People began seeing the bigger picture. Not a desperate woman, but a broken one. A person trying to cope in the only way she knew how. Fans started flooding her old posts with love. "We see you. We love you. You don't have to perform. Strength for us. You're allowed to hurt." Even some of Aaron's followers turned on him. "You knew she was fragile. Why'd you let her crash?" The narrative shifted. It wasn't about gossip anymore. It was about grief. About what happens when love fails you more than once, and you're too tired to keep pretending it didn't matter. Teyana hasn't said much since. Just one short video, her walking alone on the beach, no makeup, wind in her hair. No caption. Just her. Quiet. Present. Trying to find peace again. There's been talk that she's stepping away from the spotlight for a while. Focusing on her daughter, her healing, her art. And honestly, no one can blame her. Because sometimes the lies we tell aren't about deceiving others. They're about trying to convince ourselves we're okay. That we still have control. That maybe, just maybe, we won't be left behind again. In the end, whether the pregnancy was real or not almost doesn't matter anymore. What matters is the pain underneath it. The loneliness. The fear. The heartbreak. And if nothing else, Teyana's story has reminded us that even the strongest, boldest women need space to fall apart too. She's human. She's hurting. And she's still here. And maybe, just maybe, that's enough for now. But even after the dust started to settle, questions kept coming. People couldn't stop replaying that story, that post, that rumor. Because somewhere inside, fans were still hoping it was all some misunderstanding, that maybe this was just a chapter, not the end. But Teyana? She stayed silent. And that silence spoke louder than any headline. Then came the moment that changed everything. Someone close to her, an anonymous source said to be from her inner circle, broke their silence and dropped what felt like an emotional truth bomb. According to them, Teyana never set out to mislead anyone. She wasn't playing games or manipulating the narrative. She was simply holding on. trying to keep something alive that had been slipping through her fingers. 4. Every carefully chosen caption, every mysterious Instagram story, every rumor she didn't bother to deny, it wasn't strategy. It was survival. Her way of buying time. Of silently praying that Aaron would look back. That he'd see her still. Standing there, waiting, even if she never said it out loud, but the world can be cruel. And in her silence, the noise got louder. People laughed. Made memes. Turned her pain into punchlines. Comment sections became digital battlefields filled with harsh judgments and brutal jokes. Somewhere along the way, people forgot that she was human. That she wasn't just a headline, she was a mother, a daughter, a woman trying to hold herself together while the world watched her fall apart. And through it all, she stood alone. Not a single word from Aaron. No post asking for kindness. Not even a simple, let's respect her privacy. That's when something shifted in the public's perception. For many, it stopped feeling like gossip and started looking like what it really was, a woman unraveling in real time. And the worst part? No one seemed to care. Teyana had always been the strong one. The bold one. The woman who never let the cracks show. But now, for the first time, those cracks were impossible to hide. And she looked tired. Not just from heartbreak, but from the constant pressure of having to be unshakable, even when she was breaking inside. It became clear, this wasn't just a breakup story. It was a portrait of a woman who had carried everything for everyone, and was finally too exhausted to keep pretending she could carry herself, and then came the twist no one expected. Just when the dust had barely started to settle, blurry paparazzi photos surfaced, Aaron, out at an industry event, standing close to someone new. The images weren't crystal clear, but they didn't need to be. The body language said enough. A tall woman, familiar to the event circuit, leaning in, smiling in that way that wasn't quite friendly. It wasn't confirmed. No names. No statements. But it was clear enough to send shockwaves through the timeline, and deep enough to hit where it hurt. For fans who had watched Teyana navigate her pain with quiet dignity, the sight was crushing. If she had held on too long, if she'd lied about the state of things, it was out of heartbreak. Out of hope. But Aaron moving on so quickly? That felt cold. That raised a different kind of question. Had she been fighting alone the whole time? The mood shifted instantly.